Hey guys, what's up? I'm sorry I haven't put any videos up lately. I was in Finland visiting a friend, so I'm back and I'm going to start off with doing a bounty hunter video. Uh, I'm going to cover everything that I've covered in the other bounty hunter videos, so this will be like the primary updated bounty hunter guide, up to raid level as well. As you've seen in the channel, I have been raiding with this guy. So let's have a look. I'm going to cover basically rotation, talents, gear, and leveling as well, which I'll start off with the leveling. From my experience alone, it varies on different people that you talk to, but leveling as a healer is very slow. Your companion doesn't give out, doesn't do as much DPS as you can do, so it's a little bit slower. They don't snap aggro as much as you can either off Mako, your healer. And since Mako is your first companion, it makes sense to go DPS. You can heal you while you DPS. So unless you're going to do a lot of flashpoints, I really suggest you don't level as a healer. Now this spec that we're going to go over, I'm going to go over each talent individually. This is what I use when I'm raiding, and the talents that I've missed out on in the healing tree are pretty much PvP talents, and I'll show you as we go over them. But we'll go over the talents, and then I'll go over the rotation, and then we'll cover the gear as well. So the first one is improved vents. The whole point of us playing, and the whole style of us playing as a healer, is that we want to keep our heat as low as possible. So when you do vent heat, which sometimes you do in oh shit situations, this vents an additional 16 heat, which is great. So take that talent. The next one along is MedTech. It reduces the activation time of Rapid Scan by 0.5 seconds, and it also reduces the cooldown of Healing Scan by 3 seconds. Now, normally Healing Scan is 12 seconds, has a 12-second cooldown. So with this talent, it brings it down to 9 seconds. So really, it's very important to slot this as Healing Scan and Rapid Scan are very much integral in your rotation. Next one along is Hide Muscle, which increases range and tech crit chance by 6%. Now, as much as this isn't a fantastic 3 points, unfortunately we need the talent above, and we need to slot the points in here to get to above. So either way, you've got to slot 3 points into there, because the next one up there is critical reaction, which means any crit that you do while healing, whether it be your guns or any heal that you put on anybody, it will grant you 5% alacrity for 6 seconds. Now, alacrity, to put in a plainer sense for everybody, is haste, and I'll go over why haste is important. Next one along is supercharged gas, and this is like our core function as a healer. This is what makes us healers pretty much. Every time you fire your blasters or you use rapid scan, you will charge up basically. Once it gets to 30, it'll stop at 30. It'll just keep refreshing so it doesn't wear off, and when you're ready to spend it, you can spend your charges, and what it does is it increases the effects that these abilities have. Now, not only does it vent 16 heat when you use this ability, it also increases all damage and healing dealt by 10% for 13 seconds. But while it's active after you've activated it, the following abilities gain a supercharge effect, which gives you Power Shot, the heat reduced by 17%, by 17. Unload, the heat is reduced by 8. Healing Scan, the cooldown is reduced by 100%, which means you no longer have the 9-second cooldown on Healing Scan, and I'll show you why later on that becomes very, very important. And then the one underneath that is the Swtor missile, places a shield on all targets, on 3 targets basically, because that's what the Swtor missile does, and it reduces the damage for 10 seconds, by 10% for 15 seconds. I apologise. The next talent along is Surgical Precision System, which reduces the pushback. Now, as raiding, we sometimes get a few adds on us. We sometimes get missiles fired at us from the boss, and this is just a way of stopping the pushback as much as we can, and it also reduces the threat generated by healing abilities. So again, is quite an important talent to take. The next one along here is Empowered Scans, which again is quite integral to this build. Increases the healing done by Rapid Scan and Healing Scan by 6%, so a flat 6% increase in your healing basically. In addition to that, your Rapid Scan builds 6 charges of your supercharge basically by 1 heal. Now every time you use your blasters you'll get 3, so that's the normal way that you get them up. You have to use your blasters 10 times and you'll have your 30 charges, but you throw in a Rapid Scan every now and then and you'll get an additional 6. So it helps build that up a lot faster. We jump up to the next tier. A Swtor missile is our AoE heal. Basically we fire out a little missile, hits the floor, and anyone in the area gets healed. Only heals up to 3 people though, but it does heal them for quite a lot. So yeah, we definitely need that. And also it leaves a cloud dust on the floor. So the next talent is Swtor residue, and the cloud every time anyone that was affected by the Swtor missile basically has the residue left on them, and it increases all healing they receive by 5% for 15 seconds. So it's very nice to have on the tank, so he gets that 5% additional healing as well. And it's not only affected by your healing, it's affected by any healer that's healing on the tank, so you essentially give healers 5% more heal. There's nothing else on that level that we need, so we jump straight up to critical efficiency. Now basically Healing Scan has a 100% chance every time you use it to reduce the heat cost of Rapid Scan. Now Rapid Scan is our most expensive heal, so I'll show you in the rotation that it's very important that you use Healing Scan before you use Rapid Scan, but we'll get into that a little later. We skip the other 2 talents on this tier because they're more PvP. We jump up and we get Coltal Shell, which if anybody's ever played World of Warcraft, it's basically just the Shaman Shield, Earth Shield. It has 10 charges and it lasts 5 minutes, and when the tank takes damage, or whoever you've got it on takes damage, they lose a charge but they get healed by it. It cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds. And only one person can have the shield on, so primarily you have it on the main tank. Now a note that you should also have is from what I've noticed in raids, if you both put it on the main tank, say that you've got 2 merc healers, they don't counteract each other, they can work in tandem. He seems to get 2 heals off them. One doesn't stop the cooldown of the other one, so I think they'll fix that pretty soon, but right now it doesn't affect, so just bear in mind that if you're in a raid later on, if they do fix it, make sure you assign who has which. So where are we going to next? We're going to Proactive Medicine. Healing Scan has a 100% chance to apply Proactive Medicine to the target. It basically, every time you heal them with a Healing Scan, they get a little hot on them basically that heals them over 9 seconds. So it's nice, but that's not the most important one. The next one is the most important one, which is Proactive Medicine. Every time they get that little hot, it also provides 10% armor as well. So you're essentially buffing the tank with 10% armor every time you throw a Healing Scan on them. This one over here, the Cure Mind, I haven't found a great deal of use for the Cure, but I'm sure we will later on. So I put a point in there because it reduces the heat by 8, and it also gives you the effects. Also, in addition, lets Cure remove negative mental effects as well. So I started that point in there because it was pretty much a spare point. Then we go up to Warden, which you have to take to get to the top tier anyway, but it also obviously increases your healing. Increases the critical healing bonus of all heals by 15%, so 50% extra crit healing. The next one, Emergent Scan, is our top tier talent. It's a free talent basically. It's a free ability that doesn't cost any heat, it doesn't cost anything except for the global cooldown, but it heals for quite a lot. but it's on a 21-second cooldown, so really only use it in that oh shit situation. It's nice because there's no cast time. You can use it on the move, anything that requires you moving and healing at the same time. It's nice to just be able to have that, and it's also a nice buff to give onto the main tank if he's taking a lot of damage. Then after we finish this tree, we jump over here and we get the Mandalorian Iron Warheads. Not only does it increase the damage dealt by all missiles and power shot, but it increases the healing dealt by your AoE Coltor missile by 20%. So, 20% extra healing with the AoE. Perfect, we want that. So 2 points in that. Increase all healing received by 2% and all healing done by 2%. So putting 2 points here will give you a flat out 2% increase in your healing. So again, perfect to have. Aim gives us healing anyway. It's one of our primary stats. So having 9% is a no-brainer. Take 9% extra aim there. If you jump over to this one quickly, system calibrations increases alacrity. I go over in a little more detail soon that alacrity is one of our main stats. We kind of like alacrity, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But giving us 4% extra alacrity is always good. So take system calibrations and take upgraded arsenal as well, because again it increases the crit hit chance by 3% when you've got your combat support cylinder active, which is a healing cylinder pretty much. Excuse me, I seem to have brought a cold back from Finland. Okay, let's go over what we didn't take in a healing tree, just quickly. Power shield, energy shield further decreases the ability pushback, so coupled with this you have 100%. When you've got the energy shield up, you will not get pushed back when someone's trying to attack you. It makes you immune to interrupts as well, so if you dying in PvP, you can pop your shield, no one can interrupt you and you can heal yourself back up. So that's what that talent's for. Pretty much useless in raid environments. It seems a waste of a point. Again, this one, it reduces the cost of your concussion shot, your electro dart and your jet boost by 8, which I believe essentially makes them all free. Again, it's more of a PvP talent. We really don't use any of them in raid, and when we do, it's very rare, so it's a waste of a point again. These two here just reduce all damage taken while you've got your thing active, your healing cylinder active, so again it's a PvP talent. And this one here increases all healing received while you've got your energy shield active. You could argue that you're going to have your energy shield up every now and then in raid, but to slot 2 points in it seems a waste for me. I'd rather have the alacrity. So they're the reason why we didn't choose them. Now, the stats that we have, this game is very good at telling you what stats you need. On your raid gear, when you start getting your raid pieces, they pretty much come with the stats that are quite integral to your character. Now if we have a look now, we got the chest piece here. It comes with aim on it, it comes with endurance, it comes with power, and it comes with alacrity. Now again, that alacrity is the haste, and haste is one of our really most important things. So we'll go over that in just a few seconds. As you can see there, I've got 2 pieces of the gear right now, and that increases the duration of my supercharge by 3 seconds. This gear also mirrors the commando gear. That's why you're seeing supercharged gas and supercharged cells as well. It plays out for both Republic and the Empire kind of get the same gear. So let's go over the gear. Not the gear, the spec. Just make sure that you aim for power and alacrity, just like your raid gear is telling you to do. I made my gun through Arms Tech. I'm going to make the offhand as well. We need 3 alloys from hard modes and raid. You get them in the raid. You get loads in the raid. You get like 2 per boss in the raids, but a lot of the other guild members are using them as well, so I tend to pass on them. As you can see, the blast is pretty good, but it also again comes with power and alacrity, which is very important for us. So let's go over the rotation and why alacrity is so important. Let's get our guns up first. Basically, this is going to be what you're going to be using all the time. You're going to be using your guns all the time. Whenever you're moving, you're going to be fighting guns on the main tank. Anybody that needs any type of healing, you're going to be firing and so on. And as you can see down here, the supercharge is going up slowly. Again, like I said, it takes 10 charges of your guns to get it up to 30, and it will not go anymore. It'll just refresh, and it does stay up there for a minute as well. So don't feel like you need to keep spamming your weapons just to keep it up. But before you enter a boss fight, it's always good to have 30 stacks up, just in case something happens at the start and you need to pop supercharged gas straight away. But the general rotation is we want to keep our heat below 50%. After 50%, we start losing these little markers here, which will increase. It will slow down how fast we get the heat removes off our weapons. Basically, the slower it is, the harder it is for us to heal, because we are overheating all the time. So the general rotation is you're going to hit off healing scan first. It only costs 16 heat, but with our talents it will bring this heat down to like 14 instead of 25. So always start off with healing scan. You'll get this little ability here called critical efficiency, which it says there, lesser healing scan reduced. So then you use healing scan, and boom, there. Now if you look carefully, the cooldown comes in. You can see it's got the 9-second cooldown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now when you supercharge, you don't have that effect. You can constantly use it as much as you can, as much as you want. You can keep using healing scan. Now to be most effective, you should always go healing scan to rapid scan, healing scan to rapid scan. Always do that. Now alacrity will let us do this more times when this is up. That's why alacrity is so important. We want haste so we can use these two abilities as much as we can in the little time frame we get from this. Now no, it doesn't take long for it to get back up, so you can use it again, but you know, in that time frame things can happen and people can die. Now another thing that I want to make you aware of is we get these two things as well. We get power surge later on in our one of our abilities as a merc or as a bounty hunter. I think it comes as a bounty hunter. Power surge basically makes it so your next ability with an activation time will instantly activate. Now bear in mind that no matter how much alacrity you've got, these are still going to have a cast time. So if you want to, before you pop this, you can hit that up so that your first healing scan is instant. There's no cast time on it. It means that you can get back to it faster. You can get some more of them in as well. This one here generates no heat basically. If you find that you're using a lot of heat and you've got nothing to vent, just use this. I know it's on a 2-minute cooldown, but anything that you can use, and especially use this if you feel like you need to get the big heal that rapid scan is without using healing scan first. Then definitely use this. That way you won't use the 25 heat that is rapid scan without the healing scan buff. Now there was one thing that I wanted, people were complaining about that I've read on the forums, was there's a fight in Eternity Vault. I think it's the 4th boss, where you all have to fight an individual opponent, and as a healer people were like, well, we're really struggling. Now let me tell you, use supercharged gas with power shot. You won't use any heat basically using power shot, and you can really blast down your target very fast. So that's just a little tip for that boss on the Eternity Vault. Also if you're in the mine prison and you want to kill the guy, you can also use power shot if you really want to, but I find that my teammates get me out of the prison pretty quick, so it makes no difference to me. So let's get the charges up and I'll show you roughly how the rotation is pretty much going to go. This is the free heal here. I tend to use this just if the tank's taking a lot of damage, and I know that these two heals won't get him all the way up. I'll use it on the back end of the rapid scan. So, and I'll do that at the end. So what we'll do is we'll pop it up now, look, and there we go. And as you can see, there's no cooldown on the healing scan, so we just keep going backwards and forwards with these two here, just like that, and it's ran out now. So now it's gone back to a cooldown, as you can see in a second. So cooldown's there again. So then it begins again. But so long as you use your pistols a lot in between your heals, you'll never find that you have a heat problem. Also at the end of the supercharge, try and bust out the the Contour Missile shield upon somebody. It makes it very helpful. You can sporadically use that anyway, just for the 5% extra healing. You don't have to use it just because of the shield. Think about the 5% extra healing that it does as well. Not only to the tank, but anybody affected by it. So there could be 3 targets affected by that. So it's a very good ability to throw out every now and then. That pretty much concludes this update of the Bounty Hunter video. If there's any additional questions that you want to ask me, just ask me in the comments. I do check them and I try and respond to all of them as quickly as I can. Sometimes they wake me up, but I try to respond to as many as I can. So please keep watching the videos, keep giving me feedback. I can't get better until you give me feedback. I apologise that I brought this cold back from Finland. I just got over a cold from Christmas. Hopefully this goes away nice and quickly, and we can get back to it. I'm going to be bringing an updated Inquisitor guide pretty soon, because I'm bringing the Inquisitor into main heal for me because of the other bounty hunter in the raid. I want a little more diversity in the raid, especially as we're starting to attack the hard modes and even Nightmare eventually. So I want some more diversity. So keep checking out, keep throwing up, and keep subscribing, and please keep commenting. I appreciate the comments, and I'll see you with the Inquisitor very soon.